Hey yo, how are you all doing this damn nice morning or afternoon or whatever time it is for you? Welcome back to my lovely little channel, and if it's your first time here, I hope you enjoy your stay. Some quick things to mention before we really dive into this video. I'm going to be rebranding this YouTube series we've been doing, as I did not expect it to be nearly as popular as it has been. So far I've been titling them in a rather confusing fashion, and I'm running out of versions of this title, to be honest. So I'm going to be rebranding this series of videos as 3 games to play when you crave XCOM 2, and then whichever numbered episode it is. I know, a little more clinical, a little less fun, but it works better, I think. It'll be less confusing. Just wanted to let you guys know about this change, and let's get right into this. First up of our 3 games today is an excellent title by the name of Battle Brothers. I may eventually do a longer video on this game purely because of how much I adored it. Battle Brothers initially put me off with its vaguely bizarre art style and combat, but it really grew on me. It doesn't take long for your brain to turn these bobblehead fuckers into this. The synopsis of Battle Brothers is this. You pick a plot launching point, be it a group of farmers starting a militia or a band of holy zealots embarking on a quest to share their religion through impressive feats, each different background giving different benefits and disadvantages, and then complete whatever your overarching quest is and maybe find some new quests along the way. This game's combat is played in a turn-based tactics style, with the plot and overworld of the game working more like a traditional tabletop RPG. You visit towns and cities where you attempt to garner favor by completing quests, and those that are of the same nation will have more and more of a chance of having heard of you, which leads to better quests and more pay for those quests, so on and so forth. Dialogue with NPCs is text-based, and you will see repeat lines of dialogue relatively often owing to the randomly generated side of the game, just so you're aware if that's something that will bother you. Battle Brother uses map seeds, so you can save any maps you really loved to use again. You can even play the map of your name, which is kind of fun. My name sucks. But by far the best part of Battle Brothers is its commitment to a gritty and rough medieval fantasy setting, and dear God, this game is difficult. Your men will die, for fuck's sake. You will lose often. But that is part of the joy of Battle Brothers. You are here to witness the deaths of your men. You are here to watch the world burn. Oh yeah, that's right. Did I mention there's a world-ending calamity at the end of each game? Yeah, it's terrifying. There's a couple world-ending possibilities, but it's entirely up to you which one takes place. Or you can select to randomize the calamity, which is my preferred way to play, so I'm always guessing as to what's gonna crop up at the end of the game. But don't worry, getting to the final act of the game is hard enough as it is. You can get caught by one herd of fucking Nexarers. I don't know how to say that, and I do not care to. I hate them. And if you get caught by them, it will all end. It's fucking awful. Now that you kind of have a feel for Battle Brothers, what negatives are there to this game? Yes, the game is incredibly, ridiculously difficult, but it does get easier the better you understand it. The game has a brutal learning curve, but I don't think that's a bad thing, as it lends to the game's desired vibe fantastically. I don't have any other complaints about the game, it's just for a very specific crowd, but I imagine that of those who are watching this video, most of you are big XCOM fans, and we sure as hell are used to beating the odds. This game has that special something that XCOM does, in a very clear and unique way that sets Battle Brothers completely apart. I have to be careful or I'll be talking about this game forever. To those of you who made me play this by recommending it a shit ton, thank you. I would have been severely missing out. And if you aren't playing it, you will be too, assuming you don't mind a brutal early game. Next, we are going to be talking about another game I absolutely love, but for entirely different reasons, Hard West. Hard West is a demonically charged, supernatural Western turn-based strategy game. Hard West manages to take the turn-based formula and tweak it just enough to be unique to this game in a fun way that always makes me excited to boot it up. Hard West has a system called the luck system. If there is a chance you could hit the enemy, you can take a pot shot at them, and whenever you miss in the game, it brings the enemy's luck down, which factors into the random chance to hit. If the luck is too low for the enemy to dodge your hit, you're basically guaranteed speed to land the shot, but the same goes for you. It turns this game into an interesting game of cat and mouse, as you attempt to lower their luck whilst trying to keep yours up. It's a fantastic mechanic, and I'd love to see more of it in more games. I'll talk about one more mechanic I really loved in the game, and then move on to talking about its game structure, because god damn, this game is jam-packed with interesting and well-implemented mechanics. It took me 3 tries to say that line. The card mechanic is great. You earn different cards throughout the game that give bonuses and abilities to those who you equip them to, and after you equip a certain amount, you will start earning an extra bonus depending on the type of cards you've picked. Like you can get a full house or a royal flush or something along those lines. It's a very clever and fun system that adds a little more to the strategy of knowing what to give each character. Altogether, the mechanics of this game are very tight, and they fit the Wild West theme of the game with perfection. Now let's talk about the plot and story of the game, which is split into 8 unique mini campaigns, each one taking around an hour or 2 to complete, each tale tending to tie into each other one way or another. But somehow being on a linear path never felt like I didn't have a choice in where I was going. Moral questions and horrific options dot each campaign. I had these 2 guys traveling with me at one point, and I had the option to sacrifice one of them for a special reward. Of course I did. I sacrificed one of them and got gold that I literally never used. It was useless. I still haven't decided if I regret that or not, but this did lead to me going into the final fight with only one team member. I found myself quite enjoying the stories this game had to tell, not to mention the narrator, who's literally deaf, is voice acted by Dave D'Andrea, who's somehow barely in anything else. This man's voice is fucking gorgeous. Speaking of gorgeous, this game's art design is fucking great. They have this slightly cel-shaded styling reminiscent of the Borderlands franchise, but where Borderlands used it to avoid having to detail their objects too deeply, Hard West leans into highly detailed terrain. Combined with this slight shell shading, it creates an almost classic cowboy comic book vibe. Altogether, this game is an excellent story-based XCOM style game. It feels complete, and it feels well made. A lot of love clearly went into this title, and I will almost certainly be trying out its sequel. Alright, time to check out a rather odd title of the bunch, the Doom-inspired Jupiter Hell. Jupiter Hell is a blood-pumping, cuss-slinging, shotgun-blasting hell of a good time. This game boots up with a phenomenally animated short featuring you, the main character, crashing into a ship that happens to be overrun by demonic entities. You'll probably be watching it on the screen right now. This game is interesting in terms of gameplay. It's a dance where you get one turn and then all foreign entities get a turn. It's a stress-inducing game of chess. Need to reload? That's your precious turn used up. Enemies are brutally deadly in this game as well. Healing comes less often than you'd like, so being careful as fuck is terribly important. As a roguelike, you will lose often, but each time will get easier and easier. The enemies in the game range from being, well, ranged and melee, forcing you to be careful about which weapon you have equipped at the time, because guess what? That costs your valuable turn too. The art design of this game is simple, yet fantastic. You can definitely see the Doom influences, as well as a clean retro classic game vibe that it nails with its menus, and the filter that sits over the game it just feels very retro in the best possible ways. You should play Jupiter Hell if you love Doom and XCOM, because when I said I'd love a Doom inspired XCOM in the previous video, who knew I almost had it already? Definitely not me, because goddammit, I would have played this already. Altogether, this is a simple yet challenging game that provides hours and hours of replayability. I strongly recommend it to anybody that likes the sound and look of it. Not to mention, there's like 3 classes. You might be able to unlock more, I'm not sure. That can change up the gameplay a little bit, and so that it doesn't feel like you're playing the same thing over and over. I really recommend these games. Check them out. They're great. Today we talked about Battle Brothers, Hard West, and Jupiter Hell. Go check them out. They're great. Thank you guys so very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, leave a lovely little like, and if you want to see more content like this, gribbity-doo. As in subscribe. That's what that meant. I also have a TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter if you want to never miss a video, and maybe see some behind the scenes stuff every once in a while. But most importantly, have a good day, and don't you dare die. Bitch.